Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and/or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where this week we're gonna have another one of those concise type situations going on, but I think we have enough to talk about this week that will leave y'all really happy with the weekend. I am, of course, your host, Mr. K. Asante, TK Asante, in all the places we communicate, and I am joined by the one, the myth and legend, the one who seemingly got us late for what 10 minutes? Mr. Everborn Saga. Coffee better be good, bro.
Jesus Christ, let everybody know. Sorry. I apologize. You know what's to blame?
What's going on?
I was up very late last night playing a game called BZZZ.
Well, you gonna give it away already? We're gonna
all right,
let's go. Let's go.
No. Do the intro. We'll get to it.
Well, okay. Because that's the first game I was actually gonna talk about with you. But let's be clear. There will most likely be two games to be talked about today, and both will be glazing sessions. But we'll get there. First and foremost, shout out to all the wonderful human beings who are already here watching. People who are in the chat already always standing with us on these weekends whenever we do this show. Shout out to the great Lord Negatron. I see you, sir. I seen you, Toon Medic, 30 Below. What's going on? Eastside Vandal, already very slanderous this morning. He was in the Discord being very ridiculous, but it's okay. So Tech, what's going on? I see the man, Wade Johnson, ready and willing to continue to be on Everborn's neck. He is here today. Thank you.
What did I do to Wade Johnson?
I don't know, man, but he continues to keep you honest, sir. I appreciate that. Shout out to Steel Facts. Shout out to the Black John, all the great folks that pull up on a Saturday morning. Shout out to the great J Mac. Looking forward to seeing you, J Mac, this June. And of course, I see BT Maverick, of course. MJ Dark, you know, he's continuing to keep his capping brigade. But of course, he keeps calling me the capper, but even his avatar, he's the one wearing the cap. But we'll move quickly along anyway. So, Mr. Everborn Saga, sir, we're going to have a concise show. We're going to talk games. And then I think we should talk about the Xbox partner preview, some of the games that were shown off there, maybe some of the conversation that came from it. And also, I think we should talk about the latest news when it comes to PlayStation and the console price changes and whatnot. So
I actually thought we were going to spend 2 hours talking about logos, but thank God.
We'll get there. I'm sure there'll be some logo talk at some point, because Lord knows the people must have their logo talk. We'll get there. But anyway, and shout out to Great Six Slayer. All right, let's talk games, sir. I know you want to talk about it. You buried the preamble. You were ready to go already. So, sir, let's talk about Bzzzt. That's the name of the game. Bzzzt. You brought it to the zeitgeist. Tell the people all about it.
All right. So this was a random Steam recommendation from the Steam Spring Sale. And they said, this game's 75% off, only $3. I bought it sight unseen because I like the color palette. I like the art style. And I just said, let me try it out. This game is what you would get if Bomberman, Celeste, and Super Meat Boy had a baby. Right? If they all just got together and had a fun weekend, this would have been the outcome. It is so addictive. It is so difficult. The soundtrack. When you first start this game, the soundtrack with the vocals of the soundtrack, all tied in together. It's like chip tune, but it's a little bit of hip hop in it. It is just like everything that if you are an old school platform gamer, as I am, and this is not a Metroidvania, this is what you would call a precision platformer. So it is not for the faint of heart. Do not play this if you are not ready to get good, right? And it starts off like deceptively simple, but that's just because they're teaching you the mechanics, and you'll get to a place where they don't even want you to touch the ground once to get to the end of that level. That's how rough it is, right? It's one shot, one kill, you're done. But again, you just gotta stay on your toes.
If you want though, there is the journalist mode where it's 3 shots and you're done. You can do that too.
No, we don't play like that. Not for this. Not for this.
But let's be clear, it doesn't make the game any less punishing. It just gives you a few more shots before you have to start over again.
So Soil Tech says it may no longer be on sale. So people should have got this while they could. It's like the PS5 Pro, but we'll talk about that later. So now it's $10. I still think it's worth the $10, but we all paid $3 for it.
Yeah.
And again, so many of us are like there are 75 levels. The levels are very small, but then they get larger and sometimes more difficult. But I think I'm on like level 27 or 28. And I know some people are further than me and they got it after me because they just couldn't put it down. So
if and this is up to for those who are about that life, if you're okay with traversing some of those dubious third party key sites, you know, and to each his
own.
Why
do they gotta be dubious like that? Like you're going to
some of these are dubious. So
all right, but not all of them are. Let's not.
Well, this one specifically has had a mystical past, at least for me. It's called Game Seal.
Oh no, I wouldn't use that. We deal with Neba, we deal with Loaded.
I've dealt with Game Seal before. They have given me my codes. Only be very careful because sometimes they leave this small fine print where they make you join their little 2-cent subscription tier thing where it's hard to get rid of. So just uncheck that box before you hit buy. But right now, Game Seal has this game for $1.17. So there's that. The code's in for those who are adventurous with their $1.17. You know, there you go.
I'm not recommending that.
Yeah, I'm warning. I warned you. I put the disclosure out there. Some of them are dubious in nature. It is what it is. Once there was a one time where I did have to test the waters with my $1.17, and it eventually worked out. So I will recommend it that some people else try, but I won't try it with more than $1.17. It is what it is. But yes, I too have been playing this game. It is excellent, as everyone has mentioned. There are these boss battles, like if you take a look here, even there's these, I would consider these like mini boss battles. It gets deceptively more and more complicated and more difficult as you go along, but it's a very small, little briefly packaged level. It is super like tight and concise, and it just will punish you. It will punish you, and you will play this. This is the quintessential palate cleanser. Because you all know me, whenever I'm playing these games, I'm always playing like multiple games at a time. You will play this game until it frustrates you, and then you'll move on to the game you really are playing, which we will talk about as well, because we've been playing that as well. For some reason, this week we've been in sync as far as the games we've been playing. But yeah, this is the game you play before you play the game you want to play. But give this game
I like to call it the appetizer game.
Yes. This is the
you know what the beauty of it is? It is just one of those games that, like, you know, we're all starved for time right now, right? Like we might be cash rich, but we are time poor, as Sean Layden would say. And this is one of those games where you could literally go in, hey, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to try a couple of levels, play, get frustrated, put it down to the next day, come right back to it. Like it's perfect for that. Perfect.
Damn. Hold on. So Tech won't leave me alone. He said we should talk about how much Keasante hates GOG. For once, a game comes out that I could have bought on GOG. I bought it on Steam. And I bought it for a specific reason on Steam. And now the man won't get off my neck about it. Like, damn. So I specifically bought Bzzzt on Steam because, as some of y'all know, I like to dabble in playing my Steam games, the specific kind of platformy Steam games like this. I like playing them on a translation layer on Android, and the Game Hub, specifically the Endgame Nation, actually, the translation layers that I like to use work better, are more seamless with Steam than they are GOG. So if I know a game is coming out that I'm really gonna spend some time in, that it's gonna fulfill that need, I'll buy it on Steam because then I'll easily be able to like play it on my Android device via this method, right? This is the same reason why I bought, what was it, UFO 50. I bought that on Steam because it's very easy to play via this method on the Android device. That's why I did that. But this man won't leave me alone, sir. Maybe I'll put a video out and show the benefits of doing platform games like that via the thing. I have like a little OLED device that's really cool. It makes these platformers sing. Anyway, get off my neck about it, sir. It is what it is. Anyway, Everborn Saga, what more do you wish to tell the people about Bzzzt before we move on?
Other than buy it now, I've got nothing.
So yes, it is available. Is it available on consoles? I haven't checked.
I think it should be available on the Switch at least. Maybe the president of Nintendo can inform us on this.
President Nintendo, would you let us know? If you don't know who the president of Nintendo is, ladies and gentlemen, join the Discord. And by the way, if you got like a thick skin, join the Discord. If you're not one with thick skin, maybe just stay in the text chats because the voice gets a little hairy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Anyway, all right. So before we continue, let's catch up on a couple of super chats here before we get to the main game of the day that we really want to talk about. First off, the great Hollywood Rules. He's here with a $2 super chat. He says, "Make them pay more. Get them Everborn." Sir, I think you need to renew your charge them more shirt.
We do have a new version of it.
You do?
Yes, it's the Adam Driver version.
Oh yeah, that is true. You do have the Adam Driver version of it. Yes, maybe towards the at some point in the show we'll share some of the video, the footage, and tell people where to go get that, because I feel like more and more that is becoming an apt shirt to have on. Maybe we should put some logos on that, but we'll have the logo conversation later. The Great Six Slayer, $2 super chat. He says that soundtrack, bruh. I think he's talking about Bzzzt. And I agree. Amazing soundtrack. It is almost Sega worthy in its pursuits. If you know, you know. Thank you for being here, bro. And then Rave Damos, who sounds suspiciously like our old good brother, Dave Ramos. He says here with a $2 super chat. Happy Saturday morning, folks. Happy Saturday morning to you, sir. I hope you're doing well. I hope we're not putting your business out there, Rave Damos. Shout out to you. And then Day Reezy with a $5 super chat. He says, "Good morning, gentlemen in chat. Everborn has been cooking as of late. He still owes a rant or two. Xbox Panther preview was fantastic in my book. A partner preview rather was fantastic in my book. I think we all can agree that partner preview was excellent.
No, because it had some logos that some of us didn't like, so it wasn't good.
We're gonna get the logos talk soon, but I don't know. I still think by and large that was a damn good show. It is what it is. And that great Rave Damos also became a YouTube member. Shout out to you, good sir. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Join the Discord, bro. It's been a minute since we chatted. It'd be good to chat with you there. Have a thick skin though. Some people like to prey on wolves. There's some wolves out there. If you know, you know. Anyway, speaking of wolves, I love coffee. Super chat. He says, "Thank you all for purchasing Everborn Saga's game. Bzzzt. We appreciate your donation." So there's a conspiracy theory in the Discord that Mr. Everborn Saga secretly develops this game and then kind of is peddling it to the masses. Even though I don't think that is the case, it is kind of suspicious how this thing came out of nowhere, and now it is the zeitgeist movie that has become. And it's all because of one Everborn Saga. It's almost like he created it. Maybe he's.
I have nothing to do with that game, although I would love to speak to the developer. I would even love to work with him one day, but I have literally nothing to do with this game other than it being fantastic.
As I understand it, when we were talking about that first facetiously, Joey, shout out to the great Dr. Dry Rub. He did mention that he caught wind of this game when the developer was being interviewed by the one Jaffe. So he is out there somewhere. Maybe we could reach out to the man and see if he'd want to talk to you. I know you love these kind of games. The last time we had a hankering for an interview with one of these great developers in the form of Gigasword, he was able to join us. So let's see how it goes. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the game.
I will say, although I have nothing to do with this game, I did bully everybody in the Discord to buy it. I will own that,
Yes, you
but it
did.
is
Yes,
only
you did.
because I love the game, not because I have
Yes, you
any
did. It is a great, but it's a great
any
palate
involvement
cleanser.
with it.
It's a great palate cleanser, and much like he said last week about GTA, if it's a game we don't want to buy or we're not accepting, his bullying would not have worked. So it's a great game. I co-sign. It is the ultimate palate cleanser. But understand what kind of game you're getting yourself into. It is fantastic. The music is pumping, but it will piss you off many, 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 many times. You'll eventually put it down, and then when you do, guess what you'll do? You'll then move on to the main game we're playing, which, ladies and gentlemen, you knew it. We were talking about it last week. We're going to talk about it this week. We're talking about Crimson Desert. Are we not talking about Crimson Desert, or do you have any other games you want?
Well, I bought a few games this week just because there were some sales and some recommendations.
Okay.
And there's one that I want to bring up. I only played it for a very short amount of time, but I had it wish listed for over a year. And let me tell you the name. I'm going to tell you the name of it right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking game. The name of this game is Fallen Tier.
Fallen Tier.
Yes. Okay. So it's out in early access now.
I've seen Fallen Tier before. You know why I know Fallen Tier? The character, the main character of Fallen Tier looks suspiciously like a character from Riot Games, like the way that they depict him in the on the cover. At least he looks like Echo from the show and some of the games. So I thought initially that it was like kind of 8-bit or something, but it's definitely not. But yes, I've seen this game before. Is it worthy?
It is. It is worthy.
Speak on it, sir.
Like you look at the level of artwork that's in here.
It's beautiful,
right?
Yeah.
And this is, I think it's a $20 game. It just makes you think, how did they charge $30 for Sons of Sparta? I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Oh man!
I mean, it is
somewhere John Wolf just took a body shot, just like something hurt.
Hands-on art. It's a huge map. So much story in it. And they've done this amazing amount of world building. I have not put enough time into it to speak to it competently, only playing the opening and this is not the main character you're playing as. This is like a preamble to what you're going to play as, but you can see a little bit later. Yeah, they've just built this huge world.
That's the little dude. That little dude looks like Echo. He looks kind of like Echo in Riot Games' verse. So with the Echo's a little lighter skin. He's a little darker, but still he has the Echo's look. So when I saw it, I was like, hey, that's kind of like a look from that style. But it's really cool looking. Yeah, see this character, very, very interesting looking character. Very cool.
Yeah, but keep your eye on this. I will report back on it more. I just gotta
let me know if I should buy it, because it has look.
I like eyeballs on it. When I put some more time in it, I will give a proper recommendation or thoughts on it.
And this game is called Fallen Tears, ladies and gentlemen. Fallen Tier. All right. So, but beyond that, we're going to talk about it, and we're again going to talk both about it, and we're going to dovetail that conversation into the zeitgeist conversation around it. I am talking about, of course, Crimson Desert, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, you lead us into it. You lead us in, and then I'll.
I would say I'm now I'm in chapter 3 now. I wouldn't even call that the late game. I'm just in chapter 3, and the more I hear other people talk about it, the more I realize that there's so much of it that I've left behind getting to chapter 3. So now I'm starting to use a lot more of the teleportation systems to double back to some of the older places I was and trying to catch up on some of them. I definitely know that when I break a leg, God forbid that happens sometimes sooner rather than later, I will most likely come back to this game and roll another character and see if I can do some real like some what do you call it, guide diving, and seeing if I can min-max this thing some more. Because the more I hear about it, the more it's like I say it, and every time I do, somebody comes for me but let's just be clear. This is very much Elden Ring in its energy.
Listen, I didn't want to say it. Well, I did want to say it.
It's built
and
up
I
a
wasn't going
cottage
to say it.
YouTube channel industry about the 10 things you should know about. Oh, how to get infinite loot, how to get all the badass weapons, come on now. This is so much Elden Ring in its pursuits at this point. People cannot deny it. I was capping for it. I hate using that because I wasn't lying. I was singing its praises a week or so ago. And you know, the Elden Ring of it all came up, and people were like, "Oh, well, Kay always uses Elden Ring as an example." Tell me,
this time I will allow it. I have not had this feeling since 2022 when I was engrossed in Elden Ring. There's so much to explore. There's so many secrets. There's so many weird builds you can put together. It is one of those things where you think, hey, it'd be cool if I could try this, and then it works.
And
right?
Then you do it, and it makes you feel like a god. And all that does for me is it makes me go, yo, these devs is wildly inventive. Now, because everything you think you can do is because they thought to put that mechanic and those physics into that world. There's nothing you can't do. It's crazy. Right. Bro, and let me tell you this. Let me tell you real quick. Have you seen that you can use and I'm not going to be any game spoilery, but have you seen that you can use the claw, your rock arm to pull a tree towards you and use the tree as a slingshot to jump you to higher heights? Have you seen you can
Yes, I don't have that unlocked yet, but I did see it as one of the things.
Man. It's crazy. Anyway,
yeah, and so
it is crazy a la what you could do with grenades in the Halo verse, right? Like physics explode, now you're jumping and you're propelling yourself in places. Please continue, sir.
Yeah, so I think that so Elden Ring is what was a thing where you could kind of play the way you wanted to play, meaning, hey, you're weak and you have to build yourself up. And you can go after enemies, but you can do that in the way you want in Elden Ring, right? Like you can say, you can go farm and get yourself stronger than the person you're trying to beat, or you can respec your build and then go at them with a different weapon set. I think this kind of takes that concept to the next level, because at the end of the day, Elden Ring is still a From Software game, so you have to play it like that. For the most part, you have to play it like a Souls game. This does not play like a Souls game. It is like Elden Ring if you infused Devil May Cry combat.
It's more Assassin's Creed. I know you don't play much of those Assassin's Creeds. If you had like Valhalla,
doesn't this feel more flashy to you though than with the combat?
Very much. Well, when the combat starts, it can be more flashier. It can be, but so can late game Assassin's Creed. It can get very flashy as well. But
because I did play Valhalla, I did not play Odyssey or Origins.
It is. And shout out to Six Slayer for the recommend. He says y'all can get a bunch of free items, money, items, whatever you want from Twitch promos. You put your account on to Twitch. You mute your audio. You know, just go do stuff, and it accrues over time. Later on in game, you can redeem them. Very good recommend. People should.
Yeah, well, I don't know that I want to do that, but I did find a really interesting video that shows you like a money and XP farm or Abyss Core farm that seems to work out really well. I shared it in the Discord, so if you're in the Discord, I will share it again today. But again, this does not have the difficulty curve of Elden Ring, but it does have a more arcadey combat style that gives you the sense of exploration and freedom that Elden Ring gave you. While also giving you that arcadey style fun combat.
Can I argue and say that as Elden Ring had its obtuse like nature with its story delivery and its difficulty, this game has its difficulty with its control scheme, which eventually you get over, because I think at this point you're over it. Am I wrong? Or
I am used to it. I still don't like it, if that makes any sense.
No one thinks that it started off great. I won't even argue that. But do you even remotely, and speaking on control scheme for a little bit, do you even remotely, now that you're getting a little more later into the sandbox, see where I was talking about when I said that the ability to remap might require a bit more effort?
Nope, still don't see it. Hard disagree. Can't
because
wait till they allow me to do it.
Have you seen certain instances where now you can do stuff like you use the claw arm to pull yourself up, you're pushing yourself up, and now you use the force palm to get higher heights, only to then like fly. Like, you're doing a lot of crazy combinations.
I understand. They're still forcing you to press the button they decided for that. And to me, for a game that gives you so much freedom in terms of how you want to attack it, where you want to go, what your build is, the way you can chain together your moves, the things that you can do that you didn't think that you could, it is just odd to me that they don't allow a controller remap.
You know what?
They should they should allow that freedom.
Like you said, they did take the feedback that people don't like the controls. So there is some work being done there. We'll see where this goes, because I have a feeling this game will continue moving the zeitgeist as it has. We'll report back and see if I was right, or ultimately if you were right, because I like, the more of the later stage of the game I play, the more I'm like, I get why they did what they did in the early stage of the game with the controls, because you do so much of the combinations. I wonder how it all plays out if you're allowed to just make any changes you want to them. It kind of gets, because it turns into gobbledygook a little bit. Even now it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, I just feel like you're
learning it. I don't know. Man. We'll see.
You're saying this as a person who traditionally doesn't remap your controls.
I remap some controls. But I don't remap all controls, because I like, and this is where I stand on that whole developer's vision thing, right? Like, I'm the kind of guy who I won't change the difficulty it starts with, and I won't change its control scheme, because I want to experience it the way you wanted me to when I started, right? But that's just me, right? But that doesn't mean you can't. That's fine.
What build did they want you to go with, and what armor did the developer want you to use?
Well, no, but that's a different conversation, right? That's an in-game different conversation for a long time. And this is a left-handed individual conversation, because I've always been that person that would lean on let me go edit a little bit real quick so it's comfortable for me, and I needed to learn my way out of that. So I've always been, you know what, I'm going to make sure I take it in the way they wanted me to. Right. So
I think that is why
I'm not using that as a hang up to stop anyone else from changing anything. There are people who can change things, and that's no problem. I am just saying this game specifically, while I'm playing and discovering more, right, I'm realizing that, hey, whether I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm not saying it's not going to be possible, but I'm starting to understand why the decisions were made that led us to where we are, because the later, more difficult bosses and the more arduous ways you put together combos, and this sword and this stick and this move set and whatever, it's starting to, the combos are starting to make sense in a certain kind of way, where I'm going, if they allowed me to change all of these controls, I wonder how much like muscle memory I could attain with that. They kind of, it seems like they worked harder on getting me to understand this well, rather than just giving me the ability to change it. But we'll double back, because I expect there will be some modifications done here, and I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope they find another way to make everyone feel like, hey, this is the right way, this is the right feeling. I don't see it right now, because of the difficult nature and how that late stage game seems to move. We'll see. But moving on, everyone. I just saw it on the screen here, so I have to ask you: have you observed people and in so doing, getting some new skills?
I don't know that I've gotten a new skill other than from fighting bosses.
Bro,
I've gotten a lot. Wait a minute. I have gotten a lot of quest lines by just randomly observing people, but I have not, like, I try to greet people. I try to just listen, but I haven't gotten to a place, and I know that you can do this. I just haven't come across anything. Because again, I've been mainly like mainlining it, so I haven't gone out to explore much. I'm also in chapter 3, though, I will say.
Okay.
I will say that. So I do plan on going out and doing some more exploring
Yeah.
soon. I just haven't hit a wall where I got to a boss where it was like, this is too much for me. I need to go level up a little bit. So I haven't had the reason to go explore yet.
I get you. Okay. The reason why I was somewhat like you, I was doing some of the side quests along the X marks the spots, not necessarily going off the beaten path, because as people probably know, this game does not scale difficulty. So you go to the wrong place at the wrong time, you're getting clapped easily, right? Over and over and over again, just to warn you, hey, get the hell out of here. But they're also very generous with the teleportation system as well, so you can get out of there whenever you want. Right, but hanging out in the Discord as we're all doing, playing this game, and by the way, side note, I can't wait for them to do co-op, because I feel like that would broaden this thing even more. But needless to say, what basically happened is what do you call it? Umbra started talking about all the cool builds he was exploring and finding in the overworld, and it made me go, maybe I should start exploring, and I started exploring a bit more. And man, oh man, some of the stuff you can find is really interesting. What have you come across, everyone? Go ahead. Or are you still like straight up only following?
I have, well, so again, I've gotten very cool abilities. Like the last boss that I beat was the Devil of the Reed Field, and he gives you these gauntlets that allow you to teleport. But because I've been mainlining it so far, I haven't gotten some of the cool stuff. But tonight when I play, there's a large skull that I know that is buried somewhere. I saw this on YouTube, and he has a sword. Like, I guess that's how that giant was killed. But there's a sword in his skull. If you get that sword, when you swing it, a regular swing, he just starts shooting out projectiles.
Yes. I've been on the hunt for that myself.
Yes, that's the one I'm trying to find. That'll be my first, like, okay, hidden weapon, whatever. So I do plan on going off the beaten path to go and find that now.
Yeah, it's real cool, man. A lot of people have been jumping in the waters. I think we should continue talking about this game, and there will be more talk about this game. But let me quickly catch up on a couple super chats, and we'll continue talking about this.
I do. Well, you do the super chats. I do have some comments about some of the reception to this game.
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into that next. Yes. The Great I Love Coffee with a $20 super chat. Super generous, man. He says, join the Discord, everyone, in this chat if you haven't already. It's a fantastic place, and we're always looking for we're looking for a new chew toy. Stop that, man. He's one of the wolves I was discussing. Be careful of that man in the chat, in the Discord. He is not to be played with. Don't mess with that man. He can be annoying too. It is what it is. Anyway, shout out to the Great I Love Coffee. It is what it is. Lucius Augustus with a $5 super chat. He says, started Crimson Desert last night for the first time, and 11 hours disappeared. Damn. So good so far. The controls could use some work. Yeah, we all came to that conclusion. I appreciate you, man. Now, of course, he's in the Discord with all these new discoveries, all the fun stuff he's uncovering. But yeah, real fun. I'm sure we'll hear a lot of fun stuff from him and his discoveries as well. MJ Dark with a $5 super chat. He said the same peeps who got an Xbox Ally and went straight to Steam are the same ones who are okay with other logos on Xbox Partner Showcase. Adam 22 Energy. Oh boy, he is coming with boot on next season. I'm gonna leave that one for you. I'll leave that one for you because I think he had you in the crosshairs on that one.
He did, but I think people should argue about what they're really arguing about. And what they don't want is Fable and Gears and Forza going to PlayStation. And that's what they're really mad about. But all they can complain about is the logos. I think you should just say what you're really mad at. But that's not going to change. So you focus on logos.
And of course, Paris shows up, and his first statement is, Adam 22, excuse me? Shout out to Paris. Good morning, sir. Anyway, so I think, Everborn, you and I should venture off the beaten path on this game a little bit, because the more and more we play it, the more and more we find like it has more to deliver. Like, it has more to deliver here, right? And let's move on to talk about some of its reception because, man, like it is captured at least on YouTube, and this of course could be the algorithm that you choose, all that, of course, absolutely, right. It could be you search for one thing, it gives you 50 billion of the thing you search for, like, but for some reason, I have been inundated with a bunch of shorts and a bunch of YouTube clips of this game and what people are discovering in it, and all the various help tutorials that are now propping up, same kind of like it did during the Elden Ring cycle of those things, right? And it makes it funny to me to see how, like, even GameSpot, for example, right? They had a kind of a scathing review of this game. To keep it a buck, as they say. They were not happy with this game. I think they were one of the ones that give it the 70s or whatever the score. Even I see run around with a bunch of like 5 places to gain infinite health or whatever, the infinite wealth or whatever in this game, and it makes me go, if it's so trash, or if it was 7 out of 10 or whatever, why is everybody catching this zeitgeist energy? Do we think this was initially wrongly accused? Or what do you think? What happened here?
One of the things that makes this game special and remind me of Elden Ring is the community around it, right? It is the different YouTube channels that crop up showing you where this secret is, where that secret is. It is talking to your friends who are also playing and hearing the things that they found or trying to do. And so I think part of it is, when you're in the review phase early, one, you're dealing with bugs that didn't come to the general public, and 2, you don't have that.
There you go. Yes.
See, I think he's kind of saying what I'm saying, right? Like, you don't have. So a lot of the bugs that they had are fixed, and you don't have that community around it yet that makes it special, right?
Well, so I mean, Elden Ring did, though, right? Like even when Elden Ring was in its and please correct me if I'm mistaken, but as I recall it, even when it was in its like review phase and only a select few had played it, there was that buzz around, oh wow, this thing is amazing or whatever. Maybe it's because of the lack of bugs.
But you had a lot of thing is, you had a lot of From Software stands, and there's not a lot of Pearl Abyss stands that's going to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? So you got to show.
And by the way, speaking of From Software stands, we can put a pin in that and come back to it, but I do want to take umbrage with those fans a little bit because of the story delivery and all of that. We'll get back to that, but continue on with this whole the review process.
Listen, Elden Ring didn't have a great story delivery either. I don't
care what we're gonna get to that. I don't want to lose the thread on this.
So, review. But my point is, I suspect that what happened, because look, the game that we are playing right now, and I understand these are subjective, no one can convince me this is a 77 meta game. I'm sorry. That does not comport with reality. But that's the game we're playing today, right? And again, part of what makes it special is the discoverability and the community around it, right? And you don't get games like that with this much to offer often. And so if I had to explain why there's such a chasm between the game that I'm playing and some of the reviews that I'm reading, that's me trying to, understand it. That's the only thing that I could think of. And it's easier to say, oh, these guys are just not good at games, right? But it has to be something. I think it has to be something more as to why so many of us could be playing this game, loving it, seeing the value in it, and so many of them could not. And it's because that's the nature of the beast. And what I would hope, right, because a lot of people give in progress reviews this many hours in, I would hope people come back to it and say, hey, this is what it is now. And
because I really feel like this game deserves some respect. It's doing so much.
I'm also not saying it's better than Elden Ring. I'm saying it's giving me the feeling Elden Ring vibes that I got.
I don't think it's a fair comparison to Elden Ring, because it cribs from so many corners, including Elden Ring, no doubt, but it cribs from so many corners in such a like, and I know when I say this, like people will take it in a pejorative light.
Wait a minute, KSL. Maybe Crimson Desert should have been given the marathon treatment.
Yeah.
Please wait for the update to review.
Well, but you know, when we had that conversation, people were saying it's because it's a live service game, and live service games show you their teeth when they're in retail, right? Versus,
I mean,
this kind of did as well. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, you're not wrong with that. You're not wrong with that. You know, but yeah. You know, I would think that honestly, like this game needs to get a reprieve, right? Like we're learning so much as we're playing this game, and more and more. Like, and I would say, if you're on the fence and the control scheme is your problem, first off, even Everborn, even you now who were championing, you know, on your horse about this whole thing, even you right now are saying after a while you get used to it. You get used to it, and it's not detrimental to your gameplay experience at that point. You build the muscle memory you need, right?
Yes, but I still don't like it.
That holds you back.
So I do think it's worth giving a shot. You learn what they're asking you to do.
Yeah.
But right now, if the update comes out tomorrow, I'm changing the controls. I don't like where things are placed.
No one is saying that the update's coming tomorrow, though. That's the thing, right? You don't know when the update is coming. I'm just saying, waiting for it to eventually come. The game is good enough to try and play it today, right now. It is very good, and even with its control scheme, and when it comes out eventually, if and when the control scheme correction comes out, I will try it as well. But I'm later in the game now to where I can appreciate where they were going as far as the control scheme decisions they made. And I feel like any gamer who loves these kinds of games is doing themselves a disservice by waiting on the fence, right? And no deep spoilers coming, but just so you understand what we're talking about here, they crib so much from so many other games in a real way. And it sounds pejorative, but it's not, because they do it in such a seamless way that it makes it something unique all its own, right? Shout out to John Wolf. He said this to me, and now I can't unsee it. Like their first original sin of cribbing is they stole from Aladdin, because if you look at this character, he looks exactly like Tom Cruise, just like they did with the original Aladdin video game. If you look at him, you'll never unsee it. He looks like Tom Cruise. They took a Tom Cruise generic model and they made this man's face. But I like Cliff. He's a good looking dude, you know. And there's so many other games that you can be like, yo, they ripped this off. They ripped that off. They did this. So many other games. And it's like almost blatant. But it's executed in such a excellent, seamless fashion that you will more than allow it. You'll like slow clap and just be impressed by it. This game does everything. Like everything from every game is in this game. It's just kind of wild. Anyway, but yes, I think we're gonna be talking about this for some time. Everborn.
So you know, in terms of cribbing from games, we had this conversation the other day.
Yeah.
You know, there's a game coming out, and we'll talk about it when we get to the partner showcase.
Mm-hmm.
The Expanse game, right? But made by Owlcat. And one of the things that Maddie Plays talked about is that they're taking the exact Mass Effect sort of gameplay style, meaning the button layout is the same, the cover-based shooting is the same, the abilities are the same. I understand this is based off a TV show, and which is based off a novel, right? A series of novels, but a lot of the people
the elements fit the
right
Mass Effect style. Yes.
Exactly. And it's praised for that, because we all want that. Mass Effect is an amazing series, it's an amazing franchise, and people want more of it. And so I don't necessarily take it as a bad thing that you say, hey, these are some of the greats, let's add that in here. And what makes, I think, Crimson Desert special is how they tie all that together. So it isn't just Breath of the Wild, right? Yeah. It isn't just Elden Ring. It isn't just Red Dead Redemption or Assassin's Creed. It's all those things tied together.
But done
And
so seamlessly and so uniquely, like excellently. You're just like mother of. I bet all of those game creators are like playing this on a weekend, scratching their heads, going, "Son of a bitch, I'll allow it." Like, damn, it's really good.
Another thing that I like is I can almost treat this game the way I treat Bzzzt, right? BZZT, which is the quests. If you want to just do quests, they're kind of short to where, hey, I've got an hour to play. Let me run and do this quest. Within that hour, max 2 hours, you'll be at the boss for that quest, fighting him, and then you get a new ability, and then you can put it down for the night and come back the next day.
Yeah.
Right?
So to Slide Crow's question, does it have any good boss fights and quests? Talk about.
I would argue that the boss fights are the highlight, because the regular enemies are kind of pushovers, at least if you stay on the path, right? If you go somewhere that's out of your level class, you'll get served very quickly. But if you're staying on the straight and narrow, you're usually leveled slightly above the regular enemies. But the bosses, they're very flashy, and they always give you a run for your money, right? And the 3 bosses that I've fought so far have just been super fun experiences. There's this one like mini boss guy, I think his name is Matthias, where he's just hanging out in the town square, like
you want to challenge him?
Tough. Like you're minding your own business. He's like, oh, I heard you was a gray man.
That's right.
Let's see if you about that life. Okay. Right. Now I got to embarrass you in front of your friends, right? This is the kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's just, it's
great. It's great.
Yes. And then the different stages of the boss battles and how they turn things up. Usually the bosses have 2 to 3 stages, and then they break it up with these, in fight like cuts, right? So you get this cinematic feel to the battles, but again, it is so arcadey, the combat, that like it's just, this game's not trying to be cinematic, but when it does, like
there are lots of cinematics though. There are lots of cinematics.
For a game that is as gamey as this, it is really cinematic.
But this is the point we're trying to make, right? It's trying to be everything to everyone. You want cinematics, stay on a certain path, you'll have nothing but cinematics and storytelling. You want to be Elden Ring and discover, get off the beaten path, you will get clapped multiple times and agree that, yo, this thing is difficult. You want the discovery of Breath of the Wild, there's that too. You want to play with physics, there's that. Right? You can stay solely in the fantasy realm, or you can even head into the robots realm, and there's that. Like, there's just so much in this game, bro. It's just too much. It's too much.
And hey, I hate to say it, but they don't have anybody giving you boring monologues while you try to go to sleep on a rock.
Oh, stop with the boring monologue on the rock crap.
And I'd also like to point out, not too bad on the accents.
Yeah. Let's speak on the accents. Like the storytelling. I hear people talking about how the voice acting isn't good. I disagree. I think the voice acting is great in many instances. Like yes, it is true that you'll come across a couple characters that look the same, right? Those are my critiques from it. Like I think Wolf also had the same critique, where after a while, if you've been playing as long as we've been playing, you'll still see the same looking characters over and over again, the female faces and the troll faces and a few others. That is true. My other critique, for as much of a next level game as this is, because you're really doing some, draw distance, you can go wherever you want and all this. The issue that I find is you'll also hear repeat dialogue a lot, which is unfortunate because we live in a world where you can kind of traverse that a little bit. Right? They should have moved beyond that somehow.
You know what? Hold on a minute. Listen. I want to highlight Slow-Mo lion backslap. Right? Slow-Mo likes to call people liars, but Slow-Mo backslap. All I have ever said is when I'm playing a fantasy game, I like to hear accents that are older than the United States of America. right? I don't need a Southern Californian accent in a fantasy game. So it's not about a Euro accent, because if they had African accents, if they had Asian accents, that would all be fine. If they had Russian accents, if they had Eastern Europe, any
These all
any accent that is older than the United States, I'm all for it. I don't want to have accents from a nation that did not exist in the past setting that fantasy takes place in.
Forever Born Saga, it is all the same as long as you don't have a Californian accent. You see?
Yes, that would be fine.
Oh man, see this is the smoke.
Okay, but hold on. I always say I like those accents. You are just trying to characterize this in a way because you are trying to make excuses for what they did in Dragon Age.
Here we go.
We see you, Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap.
Here we go once again with that you know, that energy of accent fighting. Leave that one to the Discord. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna leave that one alone. So, Everborn, before we move on, anything else you wish to discuss about this game?
No. I mean, I think this is the game I'm probably going to be playing for the next couple of months. I love what it has to offer. I love what it's doing. I love how quickly they're doing the updates, and I'm excited to see how they update the game and what the community comes up with.
See, what I would love to see in this game, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to trigger a bunch of people. Mods are going to be on deck. I need them to mod in some AI models so we don't get repeat conversation the whole time. This game is so next level in so much of its pursuits. Every time you come across an NPC that says the same thing to you 2 seconds later, I'm just like, oh, it shows its seams. Y'all could have done a little bit more than that. Just a little bit more than that. Yes, I know the AI heathens are going to come for me. It is what it is. I want to see next level stuff. This warranted that. This is the culmination of what Dragon's Dogma was going for, right? Like all these people working and living on their on their own cycles, doing their own thing. Like it is very convincing to have this world be simulated in it, right? And it's fun at the same time. So it's not just simulation for the sake of it. It is very fun at the same time. I just wish that they could have had more interesting NPC conversations instead of just delivering that one dialogue over and over and over again because you asked 2 seconds or 2 minutes apart, right? Like give us some variety there.
Yeah, but I will say I do again, it's part of the lore, right? I know in Elden Ring, I think you're in the living lands, but it's still kind of like a dead world where souls go, right? And no one's really talking other than the main quest that you have to look out. But this is like a living world where people have jobs and soldiers, guards are on duty, and there are hospices and mental facilities for people and churches and things like that. And so it is a living, breathing world that in a way that Elden Ring even wasn't, right? And I do think that is special. And again, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and Elden Ring, anything you look at in the background, you can go there.
You could just go there. Yes.
And you will have some fun along the way.
And you know what I find so refreshing about this game before we move on? I love that as gamified as this game is, because it's a game-ass game, as they say. But I appreciate the fact that the gaming, the tired, I wouldn't even call them tired, but the gaming tropes that you would know, right, as gaming tropes, you can't get away with easily here, right? You can't just steal and expect to get away with that, right? You have to put on a mask and hide. You can't just go breaking people's wooden barrels left and right and expecting to take stuff out of it. If you do that, eventually they're going to come for you. Stuff like that. As you see here on the screen, you can sit back and Everborn, do this, try this out for all my people playing this game. Walk around camps where people, where there are different troops from different nations. Walk around the camps and see what they're doing. People who don't, who you are not enemies with, just walk around and just observe them. And if you observe, you can find move lists like not just moveless, but you can see them practicing like this, like they're practicing, and you could just observe them. And then when you observe, you magically in the game, you gain the knowledge, and now all of a sudden you can do it too. Very strange, interesting mechanics that I have not found in many games, all culminate in this one game. Or you may have seen this mechanic in this one game or that one game. They've kind of worked to bring all of it together in this one game. And they've also and I'll say this to the man Infinite Umbra, who will have nothing to say because he said it. They've done all of this while looking better than while doing it in a very swank Unreal Engine challenging style, which is very
I'm
hard.
sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. Listen.
You disagree?
No. You're right. But listen, Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap.
Do
not get mad at me because you out here trying to defend Tosh, saying you better watch out for these enemies because they go hard, and then having a dinner scene with her parents telling them that she's non-binary, right? All I am saying, no. All I'm saying, Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap, is if you're going to do this kind of fantasy, I don't complain about these accents in Star Wars. You know why? Because that's sci-fi fantasy.
Poisoning the show. You see what you're doing, Slow-Mo? You are poisoning our show with your slanderous rhetoric. You see what you're doing? You're triggering the co-host.
You want people to be in the Game of Thrones TV show saying stuff like that's cap, right? That's what Slow-Mo wants. And all I'm saying is that takes you out of the fantasy. It takes me out. You might like it. Man. I don't like it.
He wants his next Dragon Age to be like, that's cap. No, thank you. No, thank you. Anyway, so unless we have anything else, can we want to move on?
We could move on.
All right, let's catch a couple more super chats, and then we'll move on to a different story. So the great Day Reezy's in the house with a final super chat. He says sling shooting from trees in Crimson Desert reminds me of how Mercenary Tao used to break pillars and jump on them to travel in Dragon Ball. Yeah, there you go. I also equate that to sitting in a warthog in Halo, dropping a bunch of grenades and watch it like catapult the warthog with you in it. You know, that kind of physics engine. It has a very strong physics engine in Crimson Desert that really, really rewards experimentation. It's really cool. The great Infinite Umbra with a final super chat. He says, I love the creator who said CD is the worst game. Crimson Desert is the worst game I've ever enjoyed. Wow, that's a great one. The game has flaws, but it does so much right that it's and it's so enjoyable. It's whatever. You know, this is the energy that I wanted the same of. That's why I did that Elden Ring comparison back then. People were like, oh, but it's not the same. I get it. It's not the same kind of game. I'm not saying that. But people saw that Elden Ring was greater than its weak story. So they didn't hold this weak story of Elden Ring against it, right? I just wish and hope that people will extend that same kind of energy to this game with regards to its less than stellar story and less than perfect control scheme. Because when you go beyond those things, it is very much worth the ride, I think, as well. Shout out to the great Infinite Umbra. Let's see. And then, of course, we have the wonderful MJ Dark with a $5 super chat. He says, Everborn, install Alan Wake 2 on Epic and ignore the launcher wars. Then Xbox won't be Lena, and the other logos at the showcase aren't Jason Love.
Jason Love. Okay. I'm just gonna have to say that's one of those things. If you know, you know.
Okay.
And you don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Okay.
You don't want to know.
He's dropping some explicit stuff on the show right now. I understand. Forgive me. Let's move on. And shout out to the great nerds and other legends. Salute to the West Coast, bruh. Good to see you, sir. Can't wait to see you in June either. He's gonna be out there. He's gonna pull up. So yeah, by the way, before we move on, if you happen to be in the West Coast area and you are going to be around in the June timeframe, we're gonna pull up. We're gonna have a fun time. As the days get closer, there'll be more information that will be dropped. So shout out to all the folks on the West Coast who will most likely attend those festivities.
I do want to address Sly Crow's kind
Slide
of
Pro, yeah.
I don't think this is a grindy game. It did I've been able to like get new power-ups, get what I want when I want to get it. It's just like you have to go out. You might have to fight to get to what you want, but you don't have to grind. I haven't seen that so far.
Yeah,
so this is not one of those games that feels like you're checking into a job to
indeed
play it. So
yep.
I wouldn't apply that here.
Yeah, you tend to want to go out and just play, but you don't really have to do that in order to traverse the divide. You could stay on the beaten path and still finish that game in a normal amount of time, but you tend to be rewarded for cool, interesting loot when you go off the beaten path, and that's why you do, right? You can grind, but you don't have to.
Yes, it's shout out to Stilo Facts. Yes, you can grind if you want to level up like that, but again, it's not. I haven't found it to be a requirement, and you're more incentivized just to explore, just because you'll find something fun and it'll be worth your time. But I haven't. I don't know, what am I might be 15, 20 hours into the game. I've not felt like I've grinded yet.
Yeah,
I've had tough battles that I had to do again and again, but that was just a skill issue, right? But it wasn't a grind so far anyway.
I will say, like, I have traversed the map, but that's because I've gotten to a place with it where I'm like, yeah, I could go towards the end, but I don't want to. I want to continue like getting off the beaten path. I want to like, enjoy myself, finding cool, interesting stuff that maybe won't be easily found, via the story quest. So like now, because of some of the stuff I've been hearing from folks who are playing it in the Discord, now I'm playing a bit more of the main quest, and then I go off the beaten path for a little while, and then I come back to it. Right. So I've been having a good time.
So, okay, I am done with it after this comment, but I see this a lot. We're saying fantasy doesn't mean period piece. No, Star Wars and Dune are fantasies. Those are not period pieces. But when you are doing stone architecture, when you're doing knights in armor on horseback, you are doing a period piece. Let's be genuine in these arguments that we're talking about.
So you do realize, and you haven't gotten there yet, maybe, but you do realize.
I know that this game has electronic stuff, but so does Zelda, right? Like I get it. It does have trains, planes, and automobiles.
But why does one not counteract the other? Why is it still a sporting board, even though it has other?
Once again, Dragon Age didn't have that, and this may have this in that area, right? And yes, they had magic in Dragon Age and all that, but like let
shout out to Wade again. Pull up, bro. Be good to see you. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So let us again say you're doing sword and board. You're in these stone castles. You're riding on horseback. I understand what there is later in the game, but let's not pretend that is not what people expect as a period piece.
So let's stop the Discord arguments. Otherwise, we're not gonna leave here in a cromulent time frame. Shout out to all the great people in our chat right now.
Happy to continue this in the Discord, but yes, we should
continue it in the Discord. Yes. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button. Well, I see 54 likes. We have way more folks watching us right now. Please do us a favor. If you're on the channel, I see at least $160, $170 watching. Hit that like button. It's right there above the chat where we're having a great conversation. It tells the algorithm you like what we're doing here, and it allows more other folks to catch our show. I also appreciate the folks who've been engaging with all of the shorts that we've been doing. Shout out to folks who like that. We've been pulling out some of the great, interesting conversations we've been having throughout these shows, and just putting it out there and letting people discover some of those talks we've been having. And it's been pulling more fans in and getting people more talking about some of these conversations. So thank y'all for continuing to work with us and engage with the content. So let us move forward. And and I see the great Neo Mentals in here. Salute to the great Neo Mental. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. before we start talking about the partner preview, which I really think we should dive deep on that partner preview because there was a lot to like there, in my humble opinion. I still do want to, before we jump in, I want to talk about the breaking news that kind of took away some of the attention from that story, which is that PlayStation is raising their prices. Oh, my bad. I pulled the wrong one. There you go. PlayStation is raising their prices across the board, and some of these prices are kind of eyebrow raising, I thought. So, Everborn Saga, I've heard a lot of people talk in our Discord. I haven't heard your take on it, sir. There's some dramatic upgrades that are happening, well, price increases rather, that are happening across the board globally, to the point where now the cheapest PlayStation, the lowest barrier of entry, is $600, and that is for the PS5 All Digital Edition, making the standard PS5 with the disc $650, and then the PS5 Pro with the PISA $900. And this is, of course, $99 before tax, before any accessories and whatnot. So the price is climbing, and then of course you see all the cascading effects across the board. What say you, sir? What are your thoughts on this? So and oh, by the way, even the PS5 Portal, even the PlayStation Portal was not immune. It got from $199 to $250, so now it's a $50 bump. What say you, sir? Go ahead.
All right. Do you want the slanderous take first, or do you want the logical?
I want the logical take and then the slanderous take after. Go.
Okay, logical take, and this is the reality of it, right? We previously saw that prices were raised on the Xbox side, right? And we all know that there's a chip crisis going on. We see what's happening in the PC space, right? They're calling it RAM apocalypse, but it isn't just RAM, because now storage is going up in price as well, right? And we know that there's been several price raises this generation, making this generation unique, right? Because you said the entry price for the PlayStation 5 all digital is now $599. That started at $399, and then it went up to $449, and then they changed the amount of storage that you got. And then, so this has been coming, but for a while, PlayStation has been able to keep the price lower because, they are trying to sell hardware in a way that maybe Xbox is not. So, but the other thing is, PlayStation, when they report their console sales, they report it in sell-in. Now, there's a difference between sell-in and sell-through. Sell-through is there's a device in a customer's hand. Sell-in is we've produced the device, it is in a warehouse somewhere, and retailers are going to sell it, right? So I think what happened is PlayStation, because they've been doing retail for so long, even longer than they've been in the gaming business, they've got a really good handle on retail, and they have a lot of distribution channels. And so there are always, at any given point, millions of these devices in the channel, right? Devices that are not sold yet. And I think that they've been able to keep the price lower until whatever they had in the channel, that they bought the components at the lower price, until those were gone. And now they have to re-up, make new things to sell. And now they are, they're subject to the current market conditions. And so now, because memory costs so much more, chips cost so much more, and they're negotiating for chips against the likes of a Microsoft. And I'm not just talking about for, Xbox. I'm saying Microsoft parent company, who has a bunch of data centers to fill that they don't have the power to. Anyway, we'll get to that later. But they're going against OpenAI. They're going against Google, right? And Sony is a much smaller company than those. And so when you think of supply, demand, economies of scale, they've probably got to pay more because they're not probably buying as much as a hyperscaler who has data centers to fill out, right? So this is an inevitable thing because of where we are in the market. And then obviously you add another layer to that, which is tariffs, but that's only a small part of what we're seeing right now. So you just have this like perfect storm of things that are causing these prices to go up. So while we don't like it, this is just an explanation of where where it's coming from. And again, we saw Xbox do this earlier because they're more on a JIT distribution model that's just in time. So they try to produce only what they need, and they don't have millions of devices in the channel. This is why we saw shortages in stores. This is why they weren't able to fill the demand, and Costco ended up canceling that contract with them. And this is why they raised their prices to similar amounts months ago, because they didn't have the millions in the channel.
Yep.
Right. And so they had to now buy new parts at these new prices. And here we go. So now if you'd like to get an all digital Series X, you know how much you got to pay? $599. Same price as the new all digital PlayStation. Right. You want the one with the disc, $649. Now here's the interesting piece. The PlayStation Pro didn't just get $100 increase, it got $150 increase. So now you are spending $900 to play Sons of Sparta. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the slanderous part of the discussion. Okay, so $900, and you do not eat, they will not even give you a stand. $900. And you get no disc. So you want to add the disc drive, and you don't want your PlayStation wobbling around on your desk? $1,000, buddy. We are in PC land.
So for the record, right now, if you buy the Xbox Series S, yes, true, the S, you can buy one for $400, $399 right now, which technically is the lowest console barrier of entry now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is. And a lot of people, right? A lot of people will tell you GTA, best place to play is going to be on that PS5 Pro. You know what I want to know? How many of y'all can afford that PS5 Pro when it's $1,000?
Yeah. When it's $1,000, like how are you going to buy the PS5 Pro?
The people that so far have not upgraded because they couldn't afford to, or just could afford to, but didn't see the value in updating because the games they wanted to play was already where they were at, right? Let's not pretend there's not price conscious people, and $399 is going to be the cheapest way to get into GTA 6.
Can you imagine that when GTA 6 comes out, the barrier of entry from the cheapest and the highest day one is $500? That's kind of wild.
Oh, also, I will say, we're saying the cheapest way to get to GTA 6 is going to be $399, but that is assuming there's not another Xbox price.
Another price increase. Yeah. Unless
in the world we are living in.
So here's the thing. Right now, I'm about to put the tinfoil kufi on real quick, just for a little moment. All right. The cheapest piece of hardware these dudes are selling right now is this guy, and his price is now $250.
No PlayStation required.
But right now, today, you do require a PlayStation. You can't buy this today and onboard it and get everything you need and start playing games without a console.
I think they updated that. But there's some
no. Yes, but you still need to sign up to your account. There are still some pieces of the puzzle you need to play on the console to get this thing up and running. That can easily be fixed with a short onboarding tutorial that avoids the console altogether. And when you do that, now of course what I'm talking about here, this is total tinfoil kufi theory in the world here, right? If you do that, that means you have to give people access to some kind of store so that they can purchase games, right? With the understanding that this is just access to the games that are streamable, because obviously this thing will never play downloadable local games, right? But imagine these guys do the Xbox Play where you have your dual entitlement, and whatever you buy for this thing in the cloud is also playable on the inevitable PlayStation 5 or wherever you end up buying a console. You own it there as well, right? Yes, it's true. You're streaming it now via their services, which, by the way, they recently released an update that made the bitrate better on that, right? Imagine they say, hey, GTA 6 come this fall. GTA 6 comes out. yeah, quietly, you can buy the cloud version of this thing, which we will have in our cloud services. And then when you inevitably buy a console, you'll be able to play and own the hardware version of that because you have dual entitlement there. And to get in is $250, $250. Would that not sell people on the lowest common denominator? Because imagine, right? We're saying that not everybody wants to pay the top tier dollar to pay GTA. People want to play the lowest barrier of entry. That right now is $400, $350 if you want to get the refurb version of the Series S. But if these dudes remove that tie-in or that requirement that needs the console to get the portal in your home or accessible, and they give you access to be able to play that game just via cloud, via the portal, they kind of have it, do they not? $250 day one.
So we cool with cloud gaming now.
You and I both know I've always been cool with cloud gaming.
No, because I've been told for a whole bunch of times that cloud gaming don't count. When I got my Xbox Ally and they told me I could play my console games via the cloud, they said that
now again you are shadowboxing.
Listen. Can we get back to this slander that I was talking about? So again, all I'm saying is $249. If you think that's worth $249, I'm happy for you. But if that's what we're saying,
so I will argue.
That's what we're advocating. Instead of buying a PlayStation for $900,
I would argue with you and say today, this thing is far more valuable than it was the day it came out. It does a lot more, right? And I'm not saying
more valuable because you don't need a PlayStation.
No. It's more valuable because when it came out, it was just a portal, quote unquote, portal to your PlayStation 5. Now there's a whole side of it that gets you access to the PlayStation Network, sans the PlayStation 5. You can literally have it, play it. As long as you have a PlayStation Network account, you can be getting access to new games all the time. Never touch a PlayStation, never touch an actual console, right? It actually stands on its own as a full-fledged entertainment device now, with some that will always be missing, of course, because not everything is streamed, right? But provided they thread that needle carefully, you could get someone in the door with just this $250, and you're streaming your games. Obviously, you're stuck at home, but you'd be stuck at home with a console anyway, right? Like, this is an alternative to, say, a Series S, which I personally think a Series S is better, but the lowest barrier of entry would then be $250 and not $400, because we live in an austerity time.
If that's the case, the lowest barrier of entry is your phone, which you already have in your pocket, since we're talking about cloud.
Well, but the question is, where will GTA be cloud streamable day one? We shall see.
If you can stream it on this thing, you can stream it.
You should be able to stream it on
anything, in a browser or any place else.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. But needless to say, I'm just, this, for me, this is just a hardware play, thinking it through, like as hardware becomes more and more expensive, that lowest common denominator becomes more and more of an enticing proposition.
This is a PlayStation.
Indeed. No console, no problem. This is what I'm talking about, right? It could happen, and it could happen quietly, and somehow nobody will be upset. But let's move on. Well, let me before we move on, let me ask you this, Everborn Saga. Like, and I already know the answer to my question, but I wanna like tease this out a little bit, right? The PS5 Pro is now $900, $1,000. I would say maybe $1,100 to $1,200 with a game and an extra controller. Are we not encroaching in low to mid spec PC territory now?
I'm gonna say no, because these prices are all relative, right? We can't leave out the fact that video card prices are skyrocketing, right? Like, so I still think we are relatively still where we are, and the percentage more that you'll have to pay to get a competent PC build is still going to be higher than what we're spending here, if I'm being fair.
Okay. So you're still saying that even in this world, you would still advocate someone buy a PS5 Pro instead of a mixed.
I would never advocate anyone buy a PS5 Pro, but
no, but I'm just saying, like, value for the dollar as far as hardware.
Value for the dollar, you go and get your all digital PlayStation or Xbox. Value for the dollar. I wouldn't. I don't see it. Like $300 more
Mm.
is
Because I've always been in that headspace that another reason why console gamers love consoles is not just the convenience of it all, but it's also that there's always a huge price discrepancy between the lowest common denominator, which is the console, and the PC, right? But now they're within spitting distance, like really right there.
I think Paris might have he had some tweet that I think was an interesting way to look at it, where he said it's not just that consoles are cheaper relatively to PC, right? The point of the console is that it's cheap, not just relatively cheaper, right?
It's just cheap, period. Yes.
Right. And so we're in this place where if this is the entry point, I might have to spend more to go to PC, but
new ag refurbs, ladies and gentlemen, new ag refurbs. So here we go. But yes. And Paris is co-signing. Absolutely. Yeah.
I said it and I'll say it again.
But look, I'm just saying that in a world where consoles, quote unquote consoles, are at or close to the $1,000 mark, it kind of muddies the waters when you're going to buy PCs, right? Although, like the quick retort to my own argument there is right now all we're seeing are refurb prices. If you were to actually look at new prices, they have also skyrocketed pretty substantially. So maybe that's where that difference will continue to lie.
So A Rodimus says PSSR 2.0 is God tier. I don't know if he's trolling because that's A Rodimus, but
because that's A Rodimus, I'd be like, wow.
Is it $300 God tier?
Yeah, that's a question. That's a good question. You know,
right? Like this is it $900 to get in the door and have a wobbly PlayStation with no stand?
You know that the PC PC industry is in trouble when there are pages and pages and pages of refurb pricing, like pages of the stuff. I'm like, how many pages in? I'm at page 7 and there's still no new hardware, just straight up refurb stuff. Let me see where we're gonna get to new. See, here you go, $1,000. There's the new stuff. Let's go back. Let's start going back from there.
Yeah, we're if you look at where we were when this console generation started and where we are now, console prices have increased. I don't know if value is the right word, but they've increased in price probably at a higher rate than most people's 401ks. Like this is wild, right? It's like, you know, the safer bet is going to be to put your money in gold and stockpiling consoles because this is
so like and this is me just like, you know, obviously there's more logistics to it than that. So let me just keep it a buck, right? I'm not making fun, but just to make my point, right? This is where I'm saying they're encroaching on the wrong territory, right? Because yes, these
not
are
with
all
4 gigs of VRAM, but I take your point.
But we're playing in those waters. We are, right? We're playing in the $700, $800 waters, and there are options here, lots of options. If you're okay with refurb, your options get even greater.
But right? Doesn't that also apply to consoles? If we're talking about refurbs?
I mean, sure. Okay. I'll take your point on that. You know, but I still think, like, look, man, those prices are a little bit spooky right now. Those prices are spooky. But anyway, let's move forward. I want to see them entice the market to make it worth it. Right now, it just seems like, oh well, we can't help it, and I don't think that's a good enough reason.
All right. Well, another thing that I would like to add to this, right? If like we know that like you know, PlayStation would like to keep prices lower if they could because they want to sell more. And don't get me wrong, they are nickel and diming you PlayStation fans, right? That's what they're doing. And it's not me being slanderous. That's what they said to their investors, right? When they were asked about the chip crisis,
they said it with their mouths.
Said that they would monetize their existing users. That's what this is. They are charging you more.
That's right.
That being said, right?
T-shirt.
if PlayStation has to charge $900 for a PS5 Pro with no stand, so the wobbly PS5 Pro, what is Valve going to be able to do? Because PlayStation is buying in the tens of millions for the components, and Valve is going to be buying in the single digit millions, if that.
So when it comes to that, we had this conversation in our Discord, and again, it always ends up being a cheap plug for the Discord. Join the Discord. Always great conversations there. I am on my square as saying, as much as we hear them talking about, and I'm like, I'm at the same time, I'm shopping for PCs right now, seeing what I can find. Let's see what I can find. I'm on my square right now as saying, as much as we hear them spinning up the cycle and saying, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. If they aren't able to secure good like RAM and storage components, you don't see that hardware release. I don't see Valve.
So you're saying there's a chance that they cancel it?
Yep.
Or
I
delay
don't
it
see
indefinitely.
Valve. Yeah. I see a delay indefinitely being more of a realistic outcome than them going, oh well, hands in the air, $1,200. I don't see that, because that's never been them. This would be the first time they'd ever do that, bringing passing the pain onto the consumer. They would not do that, just because that's not been their modus operandi for so long. This would be unique in that, and there's been no change in leadership. There's been no change in that way. So I'd be surprised if they do that. Now, hey, and the great Paris Lily agrees with me. He says, I've been saying this and they call me crazy. I'm with you, sir. They would rather cancel than release it like a brick on you.
Wait a minute. Do that. Just real quick. Wade Johnson, you're saying search for a 5090. Why would we be talking about a PlayStation and even mentioning a 5090?
Yeah,
like they're even in the same
5090s. No.
This is the kind of thinking that gets people in trouble. They have drank the Kool-Aid so much that they hear PlayStation Pro and they would even think that it is on the same planet as a 4090, let alone a 5090. But listen, I do. You know what? Now I'm going to say something else slanderous because
here we go. Yeah,
because we brought this up. Now, what I was told a few months back is that because Xbox was raising prices due to market conditions, that meant they wanted to get out of the market and they didn't want to sell consoles. So are we saying PlayStation's getting out of the market? Are we saying hashtag no PlayStation 6 because they raised the price to the same amount? Or do we have double standards when it comes to different companies?
We don't have enough time, sir. We don't have enough time for all this slander.
I just had to say
let us move on. Let us move on. But yeah, see, as you can see, there's a lot in the mix, right? Which, if you're a person who's already playing at that $900 space, I feel like PlayStation can't afford there being this much in this space. And to be clear, not all of these are like oh, they'll easily squash a PS5, but not all of them are trash either, right? It's just a lot in this field. There's a lot here, and I guess what I am saying is, consoles have enjoyed the fact that there have been so many different price points that have been so far different from where the upper echelon of consoles of PCs are, that this is the closest they've ever been in my estimation, and it will bring about very interesting conversation. Shout out to the great Septic Sauce. He says you should have listened to me, console peasants. Listen to this guy. Welcome to the PC waters, sir. We've been here for years. The water is fine.
The funniest thing, shout out to Gaz. We gotta get Gaz back on the show.
Yeah, but man, it's been a minute.
Thing about the Xbox people who have ascended to wherever they've gone. Some of them went to PlayStation, some of them went to PC. They act like they was never in the trenches. And now it's like, oh, I'm a PC guy now. Oh, I'm a PlayStation guy now.
You know, I could pull your card, but I'm not gonna.
Absolutely. But guess what? I'm not calling people peasants, and I'm not downplaying people for staying.
All right, let's keep it moving, Christopher Columbus. Let's go, Christopher Columbus.
Yes, come on the
show. It's me, the broke boy, with the $10 super chat. He says, but remember, just last month, PlayStation said that they had secured enough RAM to last until the end of 2026, and they also were going to avoid console price increases by further monetizing current customers. So, AKA, what happened? Well, they realized there was money on the table. Yesterday's price is not today's price, as they say. It is what it is. Shout out to the broke boy. He continues that with a $5 super chat. He says, PlayStation fanboy protection of the brand is insane for this. You should have bought it before. Better buy it now. I got mine. Who cares? You know, it is what it is. The copium. It's a difficult thing to swallow sometimes. And then the great Erodimus from our Discord and also from this chat becomes a YouTube member. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much, Erodimus, for continuing the support. As you know, we're going to be heading to various locations in June and other places. And all of these memberships and super chats always help to defray those costs. Shout out to those. Shout out to Tate Talks. It's been a minute. I hope they're doing well. We need to have him back on the show as well. He says, now that console growth is capped and the industry is reaching its mature phase, doesn't it make sense to sell these devices at a loss or break even? Yeah.
I'm saying it doesn't make sense to sell them at a loss. So if we're being fair, I'm going to take the slander cap off. Okay. If we're being fair, this is what we see in a mature market. You're either in a growth phase in terms of users, and once that matures, you now have to monetize those users by increasing the costs on them. But this still is that is part of it, but it is also we have to look at why the growth isn't there. Traditionally, at this stage in every console generation, we have seen discounts of 50% or more than their launch price 5 and 6 years in. At this point, the Series X and the PlayStation 5 digital edition should be $249, right? If we're in a traditional market, and there would be growth from users if you could get in at that price, but we just can't do that anymore because of the component prices. So I do think we're dealing with a little bit of a chicken and egg problem, right? Is the growth because the users aren't there, or is the growth because there's a price barrier?
Shout out to the great Thai Talks. I mispronounced the name. And continue to keep boot on neck there, big man Mike. Thank you.
Or lack of growth, sorry.
Yes. And oh, by the way, the great Jesse Norris left a super sticker, $4 super sticker. Shout out to the great Jesse Norris of Day One. Yeah, previously of Xbox Era, the great Day One. I'm really liking the new style of the site and whatnot. Really, really fun. Really awesome stuff. Shout out to the great Day One and all the great things they're doing there. I look forward to seeing y'all again in June. Before we go too far, because we're not gonna have a two and a half max. So we should get into some of the proceedings of the Xbox partner program. Let's see here. Live Supremacy says PS5 Pro's $900. The disc is $80. The stand is $30. That equals $1,100. $1,100. God damn, that is tough. And that is all before tax. Interesting. Shout out to the great Prey Drag. You know, we need a great artist on our team like that, making them look beautiful. Anyway, I will once again say, please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Continue your great support. Let people know we are here. Let's talk a bit more about the Xbox partner program, because I don't know, off rip from the top, I would say this is one of the better program shows that they've had. We don't have too much time, but I want to kind of scroll through and talk about some of the games we saw. Everborn Saga, you tell me if you want to slow down on any of these games that they had on display. But I just think and there's something weird going on with my thing. If you see, like, every time I connect to it, it seems to disconnect and have oddities. Let me fix this. While I do, I will say, I think that of all the shows they've been doing, this is probably the best format they've ever had, and I think they should continue this format.
I mean, there's been a marked increase in production value since Tina Amini joined their team. So shout out to her. They gotta protect her at all costs because the shows have just been.
It's been great, right? It is so good. And before we even get into the nitty gritty, because I know people want to talk about Logo Gate. Yeah, let's get that all off. Let's get that conversation accomplished right off the top here. I know people potentially have issues with seeing other logos from other companies or other platforms on this. I feel like the where we are these days as far as these type of shows, you're competing between this and the Summer Game Fests of the world and the Keeleys and all that, showing you something super interesting and exciting on their show floor, right? And with that in mind, it's probably in Microsoft's best interest or Xbox's best interest to when they're going to market to these publishers to say, hey, you can also market it fully as you would on the Keeleys, if that's what will get you to put your stuff on our show floor, on our stage day one, rather than saving it for the Keeleys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was a selling point, and if that means we get to see a lot of this whiz bang stuff day one, like sooner, I don't know. I think that's a fair trade. Do you disagree with me, Evermore?
I mean, there's a lot of layers to this, and as before, I'll start with the fair and balanced take, and then I'll get to my slander after the fact, right? Okay. Now, there's a few realities here, right? However you feel about the logos, these shows are planned months and months in advance, and they are meticulously contracted out in terms of what is going to be showed and what logos will be showed many months in advance, and you cannot change that. It is sometimes like when PlayStation has the marketing for a certain game, and that marketing contract says that they have to show this game at every showcase leading up to launch. And so you end up seeing a game 5 times when you don't need to see it after the second time, right? Yep. Because they're contracted to show certain games a certain amount of times. The same thing would go for a logo. So if the previous leadership had showing logos in their contracts that they signed for this show months in advance before the new leadership was there, likely the logos would still be there. And I am saying that as someone who does not care that the logos are there, and I'm going to explain why momentarily. So that is one piece of it. The other piece of it is what you are talking about, Kay Asante, which is you are dealing with the third place platform, right? Fourth place if you count PC, right? Mm-hmm. And this is their showcase. And if someone wants to debut their game at your showcase and you want to get them to show it there instead of with PlayStation, because it's coming to PlayStation, or instead of with Jeff Keighley, which is a multi-platform showcase, you say, hey, you spend the money with us one time, or we spend the money with you one time, and we're going to allow you to show all the logos, which the competitors won't allow you to do. So now you don't have to advertise again and make multiple trailers to show that you're already going to be here, right? And for that may be an incentive in order to get all these games at this show. And there's a lot of games here that people didn't even know were coming to the platform.
So real quick, while it's scrolling by, Hunter the Reckoning, did this reach your radar, or was this boring to you? You moved on.
It was fine. I need to see more. They're showing me.
I like vampire stuff. I like vampire stuff. So this was cool. Like major,
just vampires. It's vampires, zombies, and werewolves. It's all
werewolves. Yeah. Very true. Yep. That's true. So there was that. We'll continue moving on. By the way, Eastside Vandal, who is not a console warrior, while you were explaining that, said,
"Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Absolutely.
He is not a console warrior.
No, he is. Right?
He is not a console warrior. He said, Cap, and his blood pressure doesn't rise ever. That's the reason why he was showing it to you in all caps. But let us continue. By the way, Soul Tech says, please share and subscribe. DLS5 boys, we up. Shout out to Soul Tech for the $2 super chat.
Don't forget Pixel Bit G, the one and only.
The great Pixel Bit G.
It is
$2 super chat. He says Microsoft being weak and ashy isn't unusual. Sir, I see what you did there. Slanderous, I'll allow it. It is what it is. Damn. And then the great Big Mad Mo, who's been a member for 26 months. Sir, you honor me with your support, sir. Thank you. He says, shout out to the panel. Hell no, get rid of them logos. I disagree. These are Xbox shows, period. Show was great. June logos gotta go. In Asha, I trust, he says.
I don't know why, because she ain't get rid of them logos, but okay.
And then, so Withering Waves. Some people call
wait, hold on. Let me say one more thing about the logos, and then we can get to the games, right?
Okay.
Now, I want you to imagine one of those couples that we all know, right? Now, they've had some issues in the past, this couple, and they're always arguing, right? And they're arguing about the dumbest thing. Like they get into this huge shouting match about somebody who didn't take out the garbage. And you look at them and you say, I don't think they're arguing about what they're arguing about. I think they have some unresolved issues.
That's
right? Now, I'm going to argue that whether the logos were there or they were not there, the people that are upset with Xbox would still be upset. You know why? Because they have unresolved issues. Because those people do not, no matter what they tell you, they do not like the idea of Xbox games going to PlayStation. And that is the crux of all this misunderstanding. And whether they show the logos or they don't, those people are still going to be upset with the brand. And the logos do not change anything. And they know that that is not going to change. And so now we're arguing about taking out the trash. I mean, logos, right? So let us talk about what we're talking about, right? This is what people don't like about the brand right now. They don't like the multi-platform move. So the reality is, whether the logo was there or not, right? The first thing people do before spending $500, $600, or $900 on a new console is they say, hey, I see a game that I like. Let me go see if it's coming where I want to play it before I go spend all that money. This is what happens after every showcase that PlayStation does where they don't show the logos. You know what Xbox does? They say, hey, all that stuff's coming here too. So people who may have seen a game, they go and make sure it's coming to their platform. Nobody just says, I'm not going to do any research at all, because they're already on YouTube if they're watching this showcase. I'm not going to do any research, and I'm going to see this thing and there was no PlayStation or Nintendo or Steam logo. So I'm just going to go, I guess I got to buy Xbox. That's not how this works. And all of the people,
I have allowed this console warrior slander to take place far too long. I appreciate the rant, because I know people love it, but we got to talk about the stuff on the screen here, man.
I feel like people spent more time talking about the logos than the stuff on the screen, and that was
I know.
But
people
let's
need to relax, man. They just, like, the logos aren't.
I've said my piece on it. If you want to argue with me, come to the Discord.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. And let's let this be the last word on this. 30 Below with a $10. Shout out to 30 Below. He says Xbox needs to stop playing nice. Sony doesn't even use Xbox logos on Xbox games on their own platform. #renegade.
The last PlayStation showcase had a bunch of PC logos, which they're allegedly pulling away from. But you believe that?
But that's the problem, right? Nobody cares about those logos. They only care about Xbox logos. But that's neither here nor there. Talk to me about this game. Talk to me about
this. This is amazing. You know why this is amazing? Because nobody expected this spiritual successor to Mass Effect, that it was going to come to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
It looks great. Cannot wait to play it.
By the way, because you mentioned it, I should mention the great Eastside Vandal, who's console warring in our chat right now. He will be hosting in our Discord some watch-alongs for The Expanse, the show that this game is based on, right? And let's be clear. If you are an Expanse fan, you know what I mean when I say it behooves you to understand the content of the show. It really makes this game even better. So if you want to join us, we're going to be getting more logistics and more details to come, but we will be hosting a Expanse watch-along to get caught up on people, so that when in 2027 when the game comes out, you understand what's what. Pixelbit G.
The early seasons are harder to get to, but it's a fantastic show.
What's
Sorry,
Pixel
go
say?
ahead. Oh, Pixel says when the brand dies proper next gen, Everborn can give y'all a reason why it makes sense. You know what, Pixel? First of all, shout out to Pixelbit G. That's my guy. But guess what, Pixel? You told me the brand was dead this gen and there was no hardware coming next gen. And where we at?
Yeah.
Where we at, Pixel? There's another one coming.
You know what? We need to get. It may be too late to do it this time, but we need to get Pixel back on here so we can have that out. Like, cause man, he will be more. I don't know, man. Pixel ain't gonna stay seated for that kind of conversation.
Oh no. Pixel's gonna be on my neck, but
he's gonna be about that life. Looking forward to it. Yes. But yes,
and I wouldn't have it any other way.
He says he's still right. We'll see where we go with it. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Oh man. So anyway, gentlemen, let us move on to the next one here. I think the Expanse was a great get. I agree with you. I think the Expanse is awesome. I'm super excited, because I was buying that thing day one anyway. I'm a big Expanse fan. That was an awesome get. That got me like, okay, this show's an 8 right from jump. Because man, that game looks great.
I think that this is not one of those games for me, but another one that I thought was interesting is that did Xbox have Withering Waves before, or no? Was this them?
They did not. No. This was them finally getting Withering Waves. Yeah.
Right. So they're finally getting Withering Waves. We also see that Dispatch is now coming to Xbox, which they skipped them in the beginning, and then we saw a couple of weeks ago that Absalom, which skipped Xbox in the beginning, is coming. So that's always great. And that went to Game Pass. And then Hades 2 is now coming to consoles. So indeed, a lot of stuff that kind of, was, originally on PC or skipped Xbox, they're still securing those things. Pretty good for a dead brand, but
JTB 1521, I agree with you, sir. He says the Eternal Life of Goldman low-key stole that show. I agree, but remember, I've been screaming it's platitudes of that game since like way back when it was on the Steam demos, right? That game is amazing and excellent, and they showed it off real well here. So I hope more people get a chance to see it. This is what, Serious Sam multiplayer?
Yeah, not for me. I don't do. I don't do multiplayer.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. And we see Eastside Vandal continuing to keep the boot on neck and paying attention to all the logos in on this thing. You do that, sir.
Right. Logo now, Eastside, do you think anybody's fooled that it's not coming to PlayStation, The Expanse? No, you don't. So why don't we argue about listen, I like to have real conversations about what we're really arguing about. And it's not the logos. But
they lied to you when the PlayStation and the Nintendo do their
Tell me sweet lies, baby.
Why can't Xbox lie to me too? Like why? They lie to me. Why can't these guys also lie? I don't know. They need to learn to lie.
Don't forget Dave the Diver 2 years later. Pixelbit G says.
Yeah, true. Stranger Than Heaven.
What
do you think of this?
I want to talk about this. This is actually Project Century, right? Remember they showed it before in one of the Keeley showcases, right?
Yep. Yes, they did.
Now I will say this looks fantastic. I do want to point out though, this does not look anywhere near as good as the Project Century reveal.
Yeah, it's been a little bit shaved down a bit.
It's very, very different from the project. Like, go back and look at the Project Century reveal. This did not look like that. However, that aside, this looks fantastic. I just get Shenmue vibes looking at this.
Yes. It's very much Shenmue. It's very much Yakuza. Very much like continuing that lineage as you can see it. Yep. It looks cool though. It just looks like
I'm not a Yakuza person. I know I need to be, but I know this is not a Yakuza game, but this I will be getting on day one.
Now, doesn't this remind you of that TV show based on Bruce Lee, Warrior? I don't know
I've
if
only
anybody has
seen the
seen it.
first episode of that show, but I'm going to say no because they're saying this takes place across 5 centuries, right? Sorry,
Well,
5 different time periods, right?
yes,
So
but the earlier time periods give me that vibe very much so. And by the way, somebody's got to convince me that that is not Snoop Dogg. Y'all got to convince me because I'm so
I
far
don't
convinced.
know.
He's got a J in his hand. The whole thing. That is Snoop Deagle double G.
That model looks horrible.
and all people who've watched the TV show.
Although I'm 1,000% on board with Snoop Dogg doing that voice.
You see them being all period piece like, and he walks in and goes for shizzle dizzle. What? No. Anyway.
I'm not gonna highlight Slow-Mo's comment, but I see it.
Yeah, we see his comment. We're just gonna let that one slide. We're gonna let it continue. Now, what do you think of these logos, real quick?
Parasite 82 Green says it is Snoop. It's been confirmed.
It's like been confirmed. Snoop. Dang. Okay. Interesting. Now check this out. I thought coming to Game Pass. Yes.
That was a surprise.
Play Anywhere.
Sega doesn't do a lot of day one. They put stuff in Game Pass eventually, but they don't do a lot of day one Game Pass stuff. So that was interesting.
So Play Anywhere on Game Pass, Series X and S, right? And then Xbox on PC and Xbox Cloud. When did Xbox on PC become such a
no, they've been doing that for well over a year now. Xbox on PC is what they rebranded to.
So are we saying Xbox on PC denotes like our machines, like non-console PC devices?
No. That's just Windows Store version. They've been doing that for a long time. Yeah.
Okay. And Steam and PlayStation 5. So there you go. For the logo gate folks counting, there's that.
I heard that they should even remove the Steam logos. This you got some hardliners in this thing.
Jesse Norris says they waffled between the Xbox PC, Xbox on PC, and just Xbox PC app. Yeah, because I've seen all three. Like, and that's why I'm like, what means what now, right? Like, yeah. But anyway, moving on. I would say I played just a little bit of this. This is a great game. This like bzzzt, will piss you off as it always does, and I would say that bzzzt got its walking papers from Super Meat Boy.
I know
this is great.
I know what they were trying to do with this ad, but I almost feel like this ad kind of turned me off from the game a little bit. I get what they were trying to say. It's gonna frustrate you,
frustrate the heck out of you,
whatever. But I actually get frustrated when I play things like that, and just watching that put me in a place where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna give that one some time.
Shout out to the great Silent Cypher. Good to see you in the chat here, good sir. Always good to see you, man.
All right, so what do you think of this? Annapurna game.
This is Annapurna post blow up, because remember, Annapurna used to be glow. Everything they do is amazing, and then Annapurna had a huge blow up, and a lot of their brain trust left. This is seemingly after that.
What it looks like is it's almost like so it's an old man who's going back over the memory of his life with his wife, and it seems as though she's passed away, and he's just moving through the world now on his own, and so he's going back to these places and reliving a memory. I don't really know what the game itself is about though, but this is one of those things where I feel like it maybe should have been a movie. You know what?
Honestly, I love seeing stuff like this exist. This seems to me, because all we have is what we have to go on here. It's like a point and click adventure style looking thing. I feel like gaming has become such a mature medium, just like movies and TV, and going through it. It's not a game for game's sake as you would recall it, right? It's tackling more mature themes and potentially not going for the game first mentality, but I think this is beautiful. I think this is great. So, this is what us graybeard gamers want to see, using this game medium to tell more mature, interesting story. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, really, if you look at it, and I want you guys to go look up this trailer after the show. Don't look it up right now, but there's a movie called Dead of Winter, and it is literally this plot. right? Except it isn't the husband that's still alive; it's the wife. And her husband passed away. In there, they lived a great life together, and he wants her to go and spread his ashes in the place where they went on their first date. And then
God of War,
crazy things happen. Okay, well, no, not God of War, but some crazy. She runs into some crazy kidnapper, serial killer people, and then she's an old lady trying to solve this thing. It's very folksy, but it's literally this. Even the shot right now where he falls through, they took that from a shot in that film. That's the same shot.
Okay, so they were most likely very inspired by that kind of take. But what I mean,
Dead of Winter.
What I mean by loving this kind of game, this style of game, have you ever heard of That Dragon Cancer?
No, I have not.
It's a game that came out very long ago. It came out some time ago. It came out by a developer. It was created by a developer and his wife, who were documenting them losing their child to cancer. This game came out in 2016. I see it on Steam. I can actually put the Steam code in the Steam link in the chat. For those who don't remember this, it's called That Dragon Cancer, and it is, like, as you would imagine, gut-wrenching stuff, right? Gut-wrenching stuff. But to be honest, just the idea that you can use gaming to tell such a mature and like serious and painful story, and it works. I thought, like, yes, right? If remember, we used to have that debate about can video game be considered art? These are the things that you use to say that. Because yes, Mega Man can exist, Mario can exist, but so too can That Dragon Cancer. So too can a game like this, where they explore themes of loss and all. It may not be your cup of tea for gaming, but I just think the idea that they exist, like, really, like, we can pat ourselves on the back that we have cultivated this mature medium that can tell such mature story. I think it's beautiful. So I'll actually be there day one, looking to see if this exists.
I'll check this out when I find out what kind of game it is.
Yeah, I really think, like, stuff like this is really cool, and it may not serve every audience, right? It's not there for everybody who's trying to play these kind of games, but this needs to exist as well. And I think it's really cool that it can exist and is allowed to exist. People are putting money into stuff like this. I think that's great. So yeah, it's called Forever Ago, and it sounded very awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, it's on Game Pass, so you may not even have to put your dollar dues down, right? You could just give it a shot. This game, I've had this on Steam for some time. I freaking love it. I really do. It has the style of your Vampire Survivor likes, where you're just like bullet hell, lots of like monsters on a small screen coming at you. But it also has a very much chibi art style, very anime-esque as well.
I didn't see Vampire Survivor. I saw like a Cult of Lamb kind of thing.
Well, Cult of Lamb is sure. It cribs from much like Crimson Desert we were talking about. This, you can see a lot of different styles in it, right? But it's very fun. And I love the voxel art. That's what got me there. Everything explodes in cool voxel style art. Like, there's a lot of particles that are like everywhere. The characters are made up of voxels.
Oh, look,
and they explode.
Look,
it's really cool.
Look, no PlayStation logo.
Yeah, there was no PlayStation logo there, ladies and gentlemen.
So everybody should go out and buy an Xbox for that one.
It is on Steam, though. It is on Steam. The demo's been out for a long time. I've been playing it. It's really fun. People should check it out. It's very cool. And then, of course, we're talking about Dispatch.
This is a big deal because it was really a miss that Xbox didn't get this.
Yep.
When it came out. So the fact that they were able to secure it, I think is good, and everybody should check out. Should check out Dispatch, and I need to finish Dispatch. I'm telling people to check it out. I didn't even finish the game, but I will.
There you go.
But yeah,
this did not get a Game Pass logo, but hey, it's still worth the purchase.
It's worth the money.
It does not need a Game Pass logo. People should be putting their money down on this one. If you like the likes of The Boys, the TV show, This is right up your alley. You should be playing. You should be playing.
Okay. Okay. And I know I said we'd move on, but Slow
Mm.
Mo says, thanks to Logo for Ascend to Zero. I'm going to buy it on Steam. Thanks, Xbox. Let me ask you a question, Slow Mo. If the logo wasn't there, would you have bought it on Xbox? Go ahead and lie and tell me you would instead of going and look up where it was. So go ahead and lie if you want to.
Can we move on?
Slow Mo lion backslap. But anyway.
Slow Mo lion backslap. What do you think of this game?
I don't know what Alien, this game is. It looks beautiful.
Thunderstorm or whatever. Like it's in game. I think it's Rebellion. So it uses oh Lord, what's the name of it? CryEngine. This is CryEngine. If I'm not mistaken. And Slow Mo backslap does lie and says yes, he would have bought.
He's absolutely lying. And if so, there's nothing stopping him now.
Ah man, you gotta love the back and forth on the show here, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, but yes, this looks really cool, right? And I feel like this whole back and forth, this whole a lot of this partner show was just so that we all as a community can collectively thumb our nose at Infinite Umbra and say, see, you do need a diversity in engines. Because not everything should be on Unreal Engine 5.
Hey, listen. Between
this is not Unreal
Crimson Desert and Death Stranding and Resident Evil 9, all of them non-UE5 engines have been doing fantastic.
now he's saying something that makes me I have to laugh. He says, I'm buying Dispatch on Xbox.
Yeah, I own that's not the game that was in question.
I'm a generous guy.
That's not the game that was in question, and you know it, and you know I'm right, but you can't admit it.
It's called Alien Deathstorm, but is this the Alien franchise we know it to be? I don't know about that.
No, it is not. All right, this is what I would argue is the worst game of the show.
You think so? Okay.
Absolutely.
When we were seeing this, we were in the chat. Korkenstein said that him and a buddy of his were in a beta for this game, and it is unusually fun. It is very much Fall Guys in its execution. So it may not have shown well.
Friend slop, and that was Korkenstein. And you know,
I mean, look. It didn't turn any cramps for me, but I know I'll definitely be introducing this to the kids. It looks like it's very good, something that the kids would want to play. So, like, and by the way, when it comes to that, like, when are they going to fix that problem? I have 2 children, right? And they both want to play games together. And a lot of these games are not local co-op, they're online co-op. You want me to get another separate Game Pass subscription just so that my 2 kids can play? Kind of wild. I don't know. I don't feel good about that. Anyway,
my kid saw me watching this and went nuts. So
which
Bluey's
one?
not for me.
Bluey, yeah. Oh yeah.
But,
my daughter's gonna love this game. Yes, absolutely. My daughter's gonna love this game. And what's funny is, and for those parents out there who've watched Bluey, the game looks better than the animation of the actual show.
Sure does.
I was like, dang, that's funny.
Sure does.
What?
Hey, you ever see some of these kid videos on YouTube and the production value
is super high?
And no, super low, right?
Okay.
But they'll have like hundreds of millions of views.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta wonder if we're in the right corner of
we're
YouTube.
We're doing the wrong thing, bro.
I think we should switch this channel to
talking to kids
videos.
Right. Yeah,
kids learning videos.
We should be on here with little controllers and little things going boop, 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 boop. Look at the characters doing this and that, and kids be watching this thing at like millions and millions of views. It is what it is. Yep.
Sir, at every daycare on repeat.
What did you think of this? Because the first thing I thought of was
DLSS 5 to me, and they said this is actual in-game footage. Now I'm not a stalker person. I did buy the game and never booted it up just because, like, I respected the journey the team put through to get it there. But I'm not gonna play this.
The first thing I thought, the reason why I thought of a you on this is because at first they had these weird accents that just did not align. in the beginning of this trailer. I'm like, oh, Everborn Saga is gonna rip this one to pieces. They had odd Scottish accents that did not match, and I'm like, that was not right. But eventually, it corrects itself. I would say graphically, this thing is beautiful. It is very well done. Like, I think and shout out to MJ Dark, who is really like about this game. He keeps saying that they've released enough patches to where this game is now where it should have been when it came out day one. So people should be giving this thing more of a chance. He says that it's where Monkfish wanted to take it. Atomic Heart. This is more of a more culmination of where Atomic Heart was going than even Monkfish was doing. So maybe this DLC release gets more people playing. We'll see. So Slow Mo Backslap says, amazing. This Bluey game looks fantastic, and since it's on Epic Game Store, I'm going to buy it there. Thanks, Xbox.
You see, y'all pretend it's just me, and y'all pretend I'm Shadowbox.
Yeah, but you keep giving him the time of day, though. That's what you're doing right now. You're continuing to let him move the needle on you. You know, it is what it is.
Not shadowboxing, I'm slapboxing. There's a difference
at this point. Yes. All right, so let's see what else they got for us. So far, I think this thing is batting 1,000. I would tell you, Frog Squad. I agree with you. Frog Squad may be
worst game of the show.
When you say worse, that's pejorative. I would say it's less.
No. I meant it that way. The game looks terrible, but keep going.
See, I didn't like when people were slandering Kiln. So I kind of don't like this one. This being slandered.
No, but Kiln may not be like an artistic vibe to it too. So that anyway, go ahead. I'm being slandered. The game did look not great though.
Mm-hmm. So then there's this. This game kind of threw me for a loop. I think this is Musha, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Is this a Japanese game or a Chinese game?
I am not sure. It looks like it's a Chinese game.
But it felt like the guy was speaking Japanese in the beginning of it. Didn't sound like Mandarin or anything like that.
No. Oh, wow. See.
Okay. It's based on Korean history. Okay.
Based on Korean history. Okay. Shout out to the well-informed chat. Thank y'all for keeping us on the straight path. I would not want to assuage the wrong culture. But yeah, it starts off with a real dour, like it leads with some fire, right? And it looks pretty cool. It really does. My question is, does this assuage those who say that there's not enough Asian representation on Xbox? This looks pretty cool. What do you think?
Let me wait till it gets to the gameplay again. I haven't seen that. I remember this looking pretty okay, but all these things look okay in the trailers, and then you play them, and then
So let's get to the gameplay. This is action gameplay, but this looks like real gameplay.
Okay. This is giving me Phantom Blade Zero vibes.
Kind of, yeah. It's also giving me Ninja Gaiden vibes, very Ninja Gaiden-esque. Look at the size of the size of the bosses and stuff. It looks dope. It really does. I think like it could potentially create something for itself.
Can we give a shout out to these South Korean game developers? I just think that they are on the map.
Oh yeah, they showed up in a big way in 2025, 2026, and they're continuing.
This is another thing. Remember at the beginning of the generation, we saw this wild, like, sort of Nintendo looking, like Pokemon Zelda thing, Dokev or Dokev.
Dokev, which is
from the same developers as Crimson Desert. Yes, and we wondered what happened to it. It's their next game.
Still in development. Yeah, it's still in development. By the way, let us not bury the lead here. This is Game of Show. If you don't know, I'm telling you, Game of Show. This to me will be, when it releases, it will be in Game of Year conversation. Mark my words. This is the Eternal Life of Goldman. It is insanely cool looking.
Now, does it bother anybody else that this can come out from an indie team, and then Sony tries to sell you Sons of Sparta for $30?
Why do
in
you
the way it did.
using these shots that are so lucrative and useful against Mr. Wolf when he's not here, sir? Come on.
I'm just that. Listen, look at this animation. Look at like, come on. This is the level that people are coming at in the 2D platformer space, and then they put out Sons of Sparta with God of War for $30.
But you also see a lot of Cuphead energy here, right?
I see a lot of fantastic gameplay, amazing art and animation, the voiceover, all of it. This is the level you're supposed to be coming at.
Bro, the demo is like, and for those who have your allies out there, your Xbox allies who claim this was you're dipping the toe in Steam, this game is still playable right now in demo form on the Steam. Go download that and give it a shot. You too will be a believer. It is amazing, this game. Eternal Life of Goldman. Keep that on your list. And it's on Game Pass. Just wild, man. Wild. I can't believe they able to secure that. Very, very cool. Very cool. I'm so surprised and excited that they were able to get that. So there you go. And then there's this one, which looks like it looks like they
stole not only Fortnite, it kind of looks like they stole Concord character models and put a cell shaded.
It looks like Fortnite art style, Concord characters, XCOM gameplay. Or would it be Mario Rabbids gameplay? Right? Like, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say derivative, but there's a lot of, cribbing happening here a little bit. I don't know. It could be cool. Who knows? It just you can see, the it's very much. I see what he did there. Look at Umbra's super chat. Umbra's chat rather. Fort Cord. Oh man. Anyway, I feel like if there's a game that is at risk of coming and going, this might be that. This might be the game that people go, okay, and then it shows up and then it may not do much.
That frog game might do better than this.
It's called Vaunted, and it's coming to the PC, Steam, and Epic Store.
Almost gonna get it in the Epic Store.
It doesn't look like it's coming to consoles though. Look at that. See, it doesn't look like it's coming to consoles. It just says PC on console on PC, Xbox on PC, Steam, and the Epic Store. So this may not be for console folks. And then of course there's Hades 2, which has a provocative entry, which is from the game, of course.
I think it's interesting to see the Hades developers kind of leaning into the sort of
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but they know the fan fiction around their games. That's all I'm saying.
PG-13 goon bait. That's what it is. I'll say it. PG-13 goon bait. That's what it is. That is what it is. It's what it is. But yeah, I played this on Steam. What was it, a couple of years ago during early access phase? I ran through it once, got to the top, but obviously they've added so much since then. Wanted to wait till 1.0 to play through it again. It looks like we're there now, so I'll definitely be heading back.
That's what I'm waiting on for No Rest for the Wicked. I bought it day one. And I'm just waiting for that one.
That's another one of those. Yep, absolutely. But yeah, Hades 2. This was an exclusive on Steam
first on Steam, then on Switch, now it's coming.
And now it's coming everywhere. Yeah. Now it's coming everywhere else. So there you go, Hades 2, which more of the same. If you love that, you'll love this. I think that's great. I really I enjoyed my time with it. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah,
name of the show.
Yeah, this one, AI Detective. Now, I don't know if this was frame ratey or if it was stop motiony on purpose, but it had a little bit of that. But man, what they showed was super cool. The ideas on display here, the innovations, the thought, the storytelling, really cool. Artificial detective. What do you think, everyone? Saga?
I mean, it looks interesting. I felt like the detective guy gave me like a Nathan Fillion vibe. It seems like he was doing a Nathan Fillion impression. I do need to see more from it, but the setting and the setup looks very interesting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it my game of show though. For me, it would be Life of Goldman followed by Expanse. But this was very good.
You know what though? The reason why I think this is game of show, and I agree with you that those are more known commodities. That like like we've already been yelling about Life of Goldman, right? And Expanse is already based on a great IP that people are looking forward to, and it really does look like it's like doing that IP righteous. This is a game that came out of nowhere, no IP base that anybody knows of. Before this show, you didn't know it existed, and now it's on the top of a lot of people's lists. I think this was that splash that they needed. That one.
Yeah, but like imagine if it was your first time seeing. Not taking anything away from this. This looks great, although I don't know how much of that footage is real. But imagine if that was your first time seeing Life of Goldman or.
True.
Expanse. True. I feel like they'd still win over, but this doesn't.
Yeah. No, I think this is great. This is great. It is not Xbox Game Pass, right? It's not on Game Pass, but it is Play Anywhere, which seems to be more and more of what you see now. Everybody's doing Play Anywhere. You know, Vivix being the developer. I wasn't sure. I've never heard of Vivix. This seems like a new studio. Probably if you dig through their resume, you'll see they're probably full of veteran developers from other studios, as it tends to be. But no, I think this was a pretty good ender, a good splash it made. You know, I really did appreciate this. But overall, sir, if you had to give it a rating, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 0 out of 10 because it had logos, and I don't actually care about video games.
Wow.
Yeah, it had PlayStation 5 logos, and you know, I care more about logos than playing the games themselves, and so I just can't like anything. Because I'm miserable.
So I need other people. I need people's. Come on, man. Give us a real take.
Real score. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. And talk to us about this. Xbox presents a special look at Stranger Than Heaven. They're basically announcing another show within the show because they have a special, unique relationship with Xbox with Sega. I thought you'd be jumping from the rooftops on this one. What do you think?
Well, I finally announced that Sonic Frontiers 2, and I'll jump through the roof. But I'm excited about this. I'm there on day one.
So I want to hear what people's takes are on this one. The Xbox partner preview. We have 3 choices, right? We'll do an A, and that will encompass a. Will encompass a 10, a 9, or an 8. We'll do a B, which will encompass a 7, a 6, and then we'll do a C, which is anything lower than that. All right. So let's put the poll up. I put the poll in the chat. I want y'all to weigh in. Tell me what you think. Some people think it was awful. I see what you think there. I see what y'all think there. Tell us what you think. Was it an A? Was it a B? Was it a C? I personally think it was an A. I think it was great. I don't think the logos changed anything at all. I still think it was a great show. I really enjoyed my time with it. I want more shows like this, and the formatting was great. The pacing was great. I really did enjoy it. Shout out to Tina. You know, that's me. So let's see what people think here in our chat. So far, with 33 people voting, and please keep the votes coming. It is an A has 56% of the vote. 29% is a B, and 17% or 16% is a C. I don't think there's even room for a D, because forget about it. That's just ridiculous. But Everborn Saga, that seems to be it, man. What other parts of the puzzle do you want us to cover before we get out of here?
No, I think we covered everything. I mean, Minecraft Dungeons 2 is a bit of a surprise, because I know when they said they stopped updates for that game, I thought it wasn't really a success. But then I heard they had 10 million players, but I don't know how many of those were Game Pass. But like, that game did well enough to warrant a sequel. I don't think Minecraft Legends will get a sequel, but Minecraft Dungeons was apparently a big deal. So I'm glad to see
a little weird, right?
more on that.
It's a little weird. Like I don't see, and I look forward to seeing more gameplay elements of that. But as a person who plays Minecraft Dungeons with his kids all the time, like we played it last week. The kids are always playing.
I just think
Dungeons.
after the success of the movie, nearly taking in
Yeah.
$1 billion at the box office, that is
Yeah.
probably going to kill. It's probably going to do very well.
See, my question is what warranted a sequel rather than adding more content to the existing? Because that's what Minecraft has been known for, right? They keep adding more content to the existing.
Yeah, but I
I
think these one-off games are to get like new like sales, right? The ongoing game is the main thing, but if you're doing these offshoots, you do the sequels, you get a big pop, you got enough to do another one. So I see it. It's the same reason you do a Grounded 2, right?
Okay. Grounded 2, which I also have not given a lot of time to just yet. I get it. Okay.
There's not enough time. Not enough time for all these games. Now when I got to do these quests in Crimson Desert.
And Crimson Desert, you know what it is. Salute to Adidas 20, who's been a member for 21 months. Shout out to you, good sir. He says salute to you, good sir. Appreciate you, man. Abunk Pie, he says he's excited for the future of Xbox with Windows, with the whole roadmap. You know, it's the whole idea of Microsoft or gaming rather being powerful enough within that company that now it gets to make more of a mark on the operating system. I'm really looking forward to what it looks like. I'm looking forward to it.
I think I'm more excited for the Xbox mode or the full screen experience enhancements to Windows than I am with the enhancements to the Xbox app itself, until I see some real like and I know they've made progress, but I mean like tangible visual progress in the Xbox PC app. So, you know, and the troubles they had with launching the Crimson Desert app, I just think highlight that they have a ways to go. But I really do love what they're doing with that full screen. Xbox mode. I really do love what they're doing on the Windows side itself, because it really has transformed my experience gaming on PC.
And not to be outdone by some of the stuff we were doing before we get out of here. I know some people have been waiting for me. That I've been seeing some messages on that. I will be doing more roundups of handheld UIs out there, because people have been asking me about that. Winhanced just did a new updater, really cool update to Winhanced. I don't know if you've been continuing to pay attention to Winhanced. Now they're fully like FSC kind of mode, where you can just have it boot up, Winhanced boot up with it. It does auto updates. It handles all of the TDP control. It's doing so much interesting stuff. Like, if you are not about that life with Microsoft and about Windows and what they're doing with FSC, there are still very interesting people out there doing some really cool innovations in that space. They're creating, bro. I tested out what do you call it? Quick resume, if you will, on Windows, and it works. Where I shut down, I have Crimson Desert running. I freeze Crimson Desert. I put Crimson Desert to sleep on the PC. I resume the PC. It's still asleep. I turn on Cyberpunk 2077. It plays, no issues. Everything's running fine. Turn off Cyberpunk, unfreeze Crimson Desert, continue Crimson Desert, and it continues to work. Really cool, innovative stuff.
It is. However,
here's this. However,
that feels like a lot of steps, and I think the beauty of quick resume is that
I'm just telling you. I'm
just
telling you what I did.
Manage what is frozen and what's not.
No. This is the app manages all that automatically. I did a test to see if it would really do the quick resume stuff, and I'm telling you what I did to test it, and it works. Right? It's not really meant for multiple games like that, but I manually froze multiple games and switched between them, and they all kept working. Even after going to sleep and wake up, going to sleep and wake up, they kept working, which I didn't think was possible before, unless Microsoft would take an actual vested interest, and third parties are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it at a system level, and if third parties are doing it, I think Xbox could do it better, and it could be automatically handled, right? Because if if I don't have an app that is like live, like that is active, you can do that to the other apps in the background, like the Xbox does. And they're standardizing direct storage around, and a lot of the GPU manufacturers are getting on board. So for me, I tried the quick resume widget, but it's too much manual, whatever. Also, shout out to Slow Mo. Listen, John Wolf can't save you, Slow Mo. You got boxed up in the chat, and you had to call John Wolf for help. There's nothing he could do for you.
Lord help us.
You lose.
All right.
Good day, sir.
Oh, wow. Erodimus is saying quick resume is overrated. You're ridiculous, sir. And this is the
Erodimus is playing either his account got hacked or he's trolling today.
He's trolling. He must be trolling because there's no way he'd be saying that. But anyway, he said boxed up. Anyway, what this tells you is join the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. Even though it's a weekend, we will most likely be in there having a battle of words. What is that? That is discord.gg/TGCP, discord.gg/The Gaming Circle Podcast. That is our Discord. You should join it. And when you join us, be very careful because they're gonna come for you. It is what it is. We're gonna be doing battles. I'll also do a quick recall, which is the Charge the More shirts, which are more apt than ever, are on the everbornsaga.com. everbornsaga.com, where you too can score yourself a shirt with the GCP code to save you 15%. If you haven't done so, now's the time. There's a lot of.
Are you allowed to share your screen? Or is it still not working?
I am allowed to share my screen. I will share my screen.
Yeah, go to everbornsaga.com and click on GCP at the top tab, and you get the GCP merch there. We'll show them what we got. Let's see.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't showed y'all this in a bit, but it's time you remember that you yourself can head to the everbornsaga.com website, and you yourself can snag not only some really awesome comic books, which, by the way, we are waiting for the updates from you, sir. We're waiting for new Kickstarter campaigns, which some of us have been waiting with bated breath to see where the story goes, but we'll leave that one alone for now. But you too can get GCP merch right here, right from the top. You can get yourself some merch, and yes, there's a lot of merch to be had, including the Charge Them More shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, get yourself one. Maybe one day Everborn Saga will make the V-neck version, so I too will be able to partake. But that's another conversation. You see how he is, of course, still featuring his Christopher Columbus CEG shirt. Absolutely. But that's neither here nor there.
Absolutely, I gotta update that logo.
The CEG shirt is on deck. Enjoy yourself. But anyway, you too can partake of all these fine wares and join us. Pick up some comic books. Appreciate the brothers' hard work. A lot of great stories being told in these books, as well as great artwork being shown. You too can get caught up for right in time for when the next adventure shows up. And right now, you type in GCP, you get a discount at checkout. So do that. But that's it from us. Anything else left, Mr. Everborn Saga?
That's all from me.
That is all from us. You will catch us in that Discord. I probably will be in that Discord. After this, I have some errands I have to run for wifey, so I'll be in the Discord causing statics. I love that chaos that we like to bring in the Discord from time to time. So shout out to all the great people who continue to join us on the Discord. Shout out to great people who continue to join us on this show on a weekly basis. Please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Let the algorithm know that we are doing good work and that you appreciate the work we do, so more people can join us. But until next week, we are done. We are out of here. Peace. You can't see it, but 2 fingers. Bye.
Thanks for being on it.